I have turtle head and a hemorrhoid. I don't know if you know what that means, but turtle head means you got to take a shit, and I have a hemorrhoid. So my ass is in bad shape right now. I feel like e-balming on a Saturday morning after a night at the gay bathhouse. Thank you, Mr. 23 Cowboys. Made me laugh when he told me that. See, even Eric's best friends know him well. Anyway, since we're ripping apart 1911s, I figure, hey, when's the last time we did a full 1911 disassembly? I mean, stripped all the way to the bone. Everything. Boner. We're going to do a boner today. So the first things first is weapon always has to be safe, which it is. And we're going to start out by doing your basic field strip, which is pretty simple. But if you're new to guns, I'm going to show you. What we're going to do first is put the thumb safety on, push our little plunger down here, take the bushing, swing the bushing to the left. I mean to the right. I don't know my right from my left. Now when I take that spring out, see how it's holding on? Don't force it. It's okay. Just let it go back down. Take this off. We'll get that out another way. Alright, now spin this back to the right. Hey, wait a second. Went to the left, now I swing it back to the right. Take the bushing out. What I like about Colts is they don't care about making their 1911s super tight like Kimber. They don't make them real tight like that, and there's a reason. They're more reliable. That's why this never jams. And almost every time I buy a Kimber, it always jams at least a few times. I'm going to slide this back to that. There's two notches, a notch and a notch. I'm going to slide this back to here. A lot of you guys know this, but I'm just doing this for the new guys. Okay, little parts, right? Let's stick to what we say we're doing. All little parts in the tray. Take the slide off, and then you got your recoil spring and guide rod. Put that over here, and your barrel just slides right on out. Okay, that over there, and then there's your slide. We can take the slide completely out. We need a punch for that. Actually, see, this is where I like to use a nylon punch, because I don't like putting metal against metal and doing any kind of stress work, but I don't have nylon punches. So what I'm going to do is just, there's a button here, you just push the button in, and then push this button in at the same time, and then lift up this little lever. See how I got that? That's just going to slide up out of there. See what I'm doing? That's going to slide up out of there. So I'm going to slide this out. Okay, there's a stop plate, whatever you want to call it. Now I push this firing pin block button, and that'll take out the firing pin. Damn, like I was supposed to do that, I didn't. And I know this is clean because I just cleaned this before. Look at that, spotless. Alright, I'll put that there. Okay, now the next thing we're going to take out is the extractor. There it goes. What happens is, I guess, I don't know, there was a little buildup on here and it wouldn't let it come out. Okay, that was weird. Okay, there's the extractor. Okay. That's the easy part. Now the whole slide is a bone. There's no other parts attached to it. Now if I would use the ultrasonic cleaner, this is ready to be thrown in there if I would use it. If I could throw this whole thing in there, there's nothing attached to it. There's nowhere for water to get trapped. But here's your slide disassembly right there. Next, we're going to start the frame disassembly. This is the part a lot of people are very intimidated by because there's a lot of little parts. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the grips off, which is pretty easy. Oops. Now these grips, these screws, I put that blue thread lock on there, so these screws are going to be in there pretty good. But that stuff's great, so it allows you also to take the screw out. It keeps it from getting loose, and it allows you to take it out. That blue thread lock is awesome. The blue stuff. See how nice and stiff that is? That's good. That they would have never came loose as for recoil and all. So it's okay to use that. Yeah, a lot of problems with 1911s is these grip screws getting loose. A lot of you guys 1911s, I'm telling you right now, your grip screws are loose. Go check it. I bet you they are. They always get loose. So if you use the blue stuff, blue Loctite, I don't know what it's called. Gun tight, that's what it's called. It's called blue, it's blue and it's called gun tight. Use that stuff, they'll never get loose. Okay, I'll take these grips off of here. Alright, on the side. Okay, now we're going to get to the frame. Alright, let me clear my head. I guess we could start by taking the thumb safety off. Usually you just push it up and pull, and it comes right out like that. Okay, now the next thing you can take out is the plunger here. Here's the plunger. Now remember, with the plunger, it has a long side and a short side. The short side faces the front of the gun, the long side faces the back of the gun. Okay, so I'll lay that right. Actually, these parts I want to keep all separate. I want to keep all my I'm going to put them up here. Jesus Christ, hold on guys. Now, so I'll get my hammer and my punch like this, and it should tap it right out. Yep, a little force. Okay, now remember, when you take this out, this holds the whole mainspring housing in. When you take this out, there's a cup side and a rounded side. The cup side faces this side. Okay, so I'll put that up there. Now I'm going to slide out the mainspring housing. See how easy that comes out? Now everything's going to come out of here. Once you take this out, most everything's going to come out. Colt, yes, they use a plastic mainspring housing now. I don't know why everyone's doing that, but they are. It's good to know how to do this, because if you want to like make your gun look cool, give it contrast, you can take the hammer out. Like, see how this gun has polished trimmings, like the bushing's chrome, you know what I mean? And the barrel stainless steel, and with the black, you can make it look even better. You can get a stainless steel slide stop pin, put that in there, and then get a stainless steel beaver tail grip safety and put that in there and make it look really cool. Stainless steel new mainspring housing, and make it like all black and stainless, everything. It's really sweet looking. Okay, now next thing I want to do is take out the grip safety. Should come out. Yep. Colt, that's a nice grip safety. I've taken quite a few of them out. That's just made really nice. I like that. Okay. Okay, now this is the hammer right here. See the hammer? And this is the tail of the hammer. The hammer comes out very easy. Just push on the back with your finger, and this pin will lift. And it has a little slight head on it, so it does go in a certain way. Little head. It has a little edge, it gives it a head. Alright? Now you can't, every pinhole is a different size, so you can't mess up putting the pins back in. So just put them down randomly, it's fine. Okay, now this should come right out. There's your hammer assembly. Now one of these mainsprings, this one I think works to grip safety. This one works to sear and the disconnector, and this one works to trigger. And that just comes right out of there. And if you flip it up, it has a little tab. Okay? And that tab goes right in that slot when you put it in. And look at all that buildup from my dirty hands and all. It's got all kinds of grime in there and stuff, so I'll clean that up real good. Okay, now I'm going to take out this other pin. This goes on the grips. The grip safety operates this. It goes up and down like a flag, and it just sits in here. You'll see how it sits in there. It just sits in there like that. Alright, so I'm just going to move that out of there with a punch. Just move that out like that, because what happened was the grip safety pin holds that in. So I'm going to put that up there. And now there's another part to that, but it's being held in with this pin. So I'm going to pull this pin out, make sure I look at it, see how it goes. Okay. This pin, I'll push it from the other side and pull it out. These pins ain't pressed in there hard, they're just sitting in there. Okay. That pin holds the disconnector and everything. Okay, now all this is going to come out of here. But I need to look at it before I do anything. And it all just falls out. Okay, so this works like this. Sorry guys, that wasn't right. Look at this design. I had it upside down. This is the way it works, just like this. Okay, this will give you a better idea. Now you see how I have that shit laid on the mat? That's wrong. Don't go by that. Go by that diagram I just showed you. Alright? The one part, the smaller part that I have upside down, that's called the trigger bar lever. Okay? And the part that it's next to it is called the plunger lever. That's something new to me because I guess the newer 1911s have that. So I wasn't familiar with that. Just trying to make a correction here. Alright, just go by the diagram, you'll be good. You just push a little and you gotta find the notch and it should come right out. There it goes. You gotta push the mag release all the way in and then turn the screw head and then it comes out. Should come out. Oh, wrong way, dude. Not this way. It's been a while. I haven't done this in a long time, dudes. Okay, there's your mag release. I can clean that up real good if I want. And now the last thing that comes out is your trigger. The trigger will just fall right out of here. See that? It's got a lot of dirt on it. See, this is stuff you can put in the ultrasonic cleaner. The trigger, all these parts, you can throw them all in there. You really can. You won't hurt nothing. Dry them off, oil them up, put them back together. And that's it. That is a bare 1911 Colt frame. Bare to the bone. There's nothing else in it. Alright, before I put it back together, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wipe off all the parts and oil them up. I got these little parts. Here's the hammer hook thing, the disconnector. I'm wiping it all off. Here's a little tip. Here's the mainspring housing and the mainspring plungers in here. I'm really not going to take that out. It's really easy to take that out. You just push this button in, depress it, and the spring pops out. There's a cup assembly in there. But this gun ain't really dirty. I'm not going to take it out. But what you can do is to give your gun a smoother feeling action with the hammer is get a syringe oiler and just put a drop of oil in here. And it'll go down in there. Just a drop, not too much. It'll lubricate that spring and that piston going up and down. So when you cock the hammer, you'll feel a smoother action. Alright, step by step, we're going to put the trigger. I don't do this all the time either, guys. I can't just throw this together fast like a gunsmith. Here's what I do. I'm going to use some, I can use ballast or regular oil, don't matter. I'll just put a drop of oil on my fingertips and go like this. And just coat everything. That's all. I'm going to put the trigger in. And I'm going to put the magazine release in. Obviously the trigger goes in first. Let's see, it's going this way. Yeah. There it goes. Right on in, right? Now, I want to put the mag release in. I did coat it with oil. My fingers. You don't need a ton of oil because you don't want oil dripping inside and all. And it goes like this. That, and just turn the screw. You gotta find the groove. I forget which way. This way. There it goes. Snaps right in. Try to remember if it's clockwise to get it off, counterclockwise to get it on. I forget because you don't want to be going on back and forth because you'll more up your screw. Okay, now that's in. Now that holds the trigger in. Okay, and it feels good. Okay, that's the first step. That's the easy part. Now this is the hard part. Okay, this is the tedious part. It's not hard, it's just tedious. I'm not going to be able to get the camera in there and show you how to do it. And a lot of these guys are good at this shit, man. They get that camera right in there, but I don't know how they do it. So the first thing I'm going to do is put this shaped part. This goes. This is how all this goes together. This points this way. This points in this direction. It goes like this. Okay? Goes like this, and then the pin goes through both of these and this. Just like that. And I'll put it in and try to slide it up in there. And I'll try to do it on camera if I can. I'll have to turn the camera back off and just do what I gotta do. See? It's very, very tedious, guys. And there's so much room, the parts don't stay together for you. It's not a real easy thing to do. It really isn't. So now what I'll do is just get all the parts in there. As long as they're in the right direction, I'll just start fumbling around with my punch till I line everything up. Alright? I ain't gonna do it on camera, it just wastes time. I think you guys get the picture. Remove this punch really, really carefully. Keep the gun level. Once you take this out and all that falls out, you're going to be really, really, really upset if everything falls out. So I'll just ever so gently remove that punch and put this pin right in there. Okay. Okay, the next thing that goes in after you get that little difficult part in there is the mainspring. What to do with it? Here it is. I cleaned it up, lightly oiled the whole thing, still a little dry. So I'll just put a little bit more oil on there. Just a drop. Doesn't matter what kind of oil you use. Okay. And now here's how this works. It goes in there and there's a little slot that this goes into. And you got to make sure it goes in nice and flush. I'm just going to slap that in there, hopefully. Oops, I'll go this way. And it's fitting in there good. Now see how it works. The disconnector, see that? See it going up and down? That's how it works when you're squeezing and pulling the trigger and all that stuff. Everything works together. Okay, the trigger's not going to work till everything's in there and compressed. But I just wanted to show you how that goes in there. Very simple. Alright, now I'm going to put the hammer assembly in. Now before I put the hammer assembly in, I got to put, there's a little added feature with this gun than your, the regular GI model. And I have to put this little plate in here. It just goes in here. Yeah. Just goes in here. Oh, forward it. It just sits in there. And then it sits in that groove in the top. Right in there. Oh, let me get that in there right. Just the last tedious part is putting this stupid thing in. Okay. Just like that. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm doing the best I can. See how that goes in there? And you'll see it on the top, right here. It works with the grip safety. And then it has its own spot where it sits in. And just line up the holes so you know it's all center. You know it's where it's supposed to be. And now we're going to put the hammer assembly in. Here's the hammer assembly. You want the tail sweeping this way, okay, in that direction. And we're just going to put this in. Everything's in my way. Like that. That's okay. And I make sure we're all clear all the way through. Make sure that thingy's in there. Everything's good. And that's fine. Okay, this is the pin for the hammer assembly. It's very dry. I'm going to put just a drop of oil on it. Just a drop. So it don't get rusty on me. And we're going to push this pin through like this, like that. And now make sure the mainspring housing is flat. Sometimes it'll see how it popped out. That's typical. That happens. Just make sure everything's flat in there. And then there's the tail of the hammer assembly. You'll see where that goes. That goes in the plunger here. Okay, so that's in place. Everything's in place. All the little parts, that little part, everything, the disconnector, all that. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is get the mainspring housing, and I am going to put it up like halfway. Make sure it stays flat. Okay, put it in there halfway. Like that. Just like that. See how I got that? Halfway. I put in halfway because what it's doing, it's holding everything in place so I can get the grip safety in without everything falling out all over the place. Alright? Alright, let's get this grip safety in. Alright, now we're putting in the grip safety. So what we're going to do is, here's your grip safety. Fit this up in there. Like that. And before I put the pin in, I want to make sure that tail gets in the, I'll show you what I mean. Make sure to make things this all good. You gotta make sure that mainspring is flush. Sometimes it screws with you. See this tail? This goes in this little cup down here. Let me see if I can get this up a little more. So, alright, now I'll put the grip safety in. Alright, I want to make sure that tail gets in that cup. I don't know if you know what I mean, the cup. There's a cup. Okay, yeah, I got it. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I got to put this in first. Okay, so I'm just going to should be able to drive it right in there. Just tap it right in. So the thumb safety goes in here like this. Now what's stopping you is the plunger. So you got to move the plunger out of the way at the same time you're putting the thumb safety in. Forgot to tell you, the thumb safety's a bitch too. So what are you going to do? It's the way it is. You know what I'm saying? But if you do this a lot, like I haven't done this in a year or two, probably 2 years. Okay, got it. And just snap it down. Okay. Now we gotta hope to God it works. So what I'm gonna do is give the frame a little test. That's a good sign. I should get 2 clicks. 1, 2. The Colt has 2 clicks. The Springfield Armory has 3 clicks. Okay, let's cock it back. Let's put the thumb safety on and make sure it works. Now just in case it don't work, I don't want that to slam into the frame, so I'll just stick that in there like that. And okay, it's working. Okay, let's take the thumb safety off and it should fire. Okay, good. Let's make sure the grip safety works because we took apart everything. Okay, thumb safety's off. I'm not engaging the grip safety, so it should not fire. Engaging the grip safety should fire. Very nice. Okay, and that's how you put the frame back together. Okay, we didn't scratch nothing up. I think we did an okay job for not doing it for a few years, and of course we got to take it to the range, dust it in there, and make sure she's okay. And now we will put the slide back together. Oh yeah, I love it. I love a challenge. Okay, here's the slide. Okay, we're going to put in the extractor. That in first. Don't push it all the way down, just push it where the track, there's a track, you'll see it. You'll see, I don't even have to show you. It lines up nice. And we'll put this fire pin block button in. Okay, like that. Make sure she's in there good. Okay. And make sure that track is lined up perfect. It's not. Should be alright. Yes it is. Okay, I'll put the firing pin and spring in. Push down the block so you can get it in. Push it in, let it out, and now it holds it all together for you. Okay, Yeah, battery light's blinking. Hold on guys, gotta plug my camera in. It's a long one. Thank God for the AC adapter. Okay, you get out of here. You stressed me out. Okay. Here's that stop plate. Might as well clean it. And we gotta take this to the range now and put a good 100 rounds through it. Okay, now we have to slide this in. Now, at the same time we slide it in, we got to push that pin in and that button in at the same time. I'm pretty sure if it works like just like a Kimber. I'm doing it ass backwards. Wait a minute. Let me push this out with my thumb. Push this down, and let gravity take over. There we go. Nothing like a little gravity. Okay, now I'm going to slide that in, and it should. What happened? It should pop out. There it goes. Okay, a little different than the Kimber. When I was taking that Kimber apart, it's just like little tweaky differences, stupid thing. Once you get your mind on one gun, you think all 1911s are the same. They are, basically, but they have these little hair-splitting little differences. Weird shit. Okay, it's good. Firing pins in, that looks good. Extractor. Nice and flush. Make sure it's not cocked this way. It can only move so much. Usually this plate will hold the extractor in line, but it still can be moved a little, and that might change your angle of your ejections, so you gotta watch that. I haven't had any problems yet, so I don't think it's an issue, but I'm just thinking it might be. Okay. Alright, let's get the grips on. Okay. These are nice grips, they're great for the range. Because, what's the wrong way? Now that I have that blue Loctite on there, I don't have to crank these real tight. I'm just going to crank it till it stops, and that's enough. Yeah, I can feel they're going in nice and tight. That's good. So, that's good. It's good stuff, man. See how this is? See if that's ratcheting like that and the screw's still out? I'm not cross-threading it. It's because the dried Loctite is getting wedged in between the threads, and that's what you want. That's its job. Now I know them screws ain't gonna get loose. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's put the slide together. We're home free now, guys. Home free. This goes in like this. That's what I do love about Colts is they're made loose. They're easy to take apart and put together. See that Ed Brown? I wouldn't even attempt this. Maybe until it has thousands of rounds to it and it's nice and loose and broken in. But right now I wouldn't even attempt it. Nope. Not even going to. How about we oil the slide a little? Just a little. We frog lubed this, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Oh well. We really don't need oil, supposedly. I'll just put it just a touch. Okay, there's that stop. That's good. It's good. It's working. That's what we wanted to do. What are you doing? Right. What's stopping me? Something's stopping me. Something's being stupid. Okay. Line up the holes. Okay. That's lubricated. Yes. Stick that in there. Snap right in, should. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, that's all together. Now we're going to do the easy parts. Put the bushing on. Drops in around 4 o'clock. That's it. Spin it this way. Put your recoil cap plug on. Spin it till it stops. There's a hole and the spring catches the hole, so you want it to catch that. No tools, guys. You can use your hands. Your finger. Snap that in place. Thumb safety back off. You can dry fire 1911s, okay? Yes, you can. And that's it. It's back together. I think it's in working order. I'm positive it sure is. And I think we need to get it to the range, make sure she's all right, and shooting like a champ like she always does. All right, guys, rough video, but I hope it helped you. And I needed to do that again just for to sharpen my skills, too. It's been a long time. See you guys.